lion.
Here at the United Nations, Amazing Youth Summit. I mean, you probably know. We'll roll some tape and we'll see. Okay, let's roll.
Even your personal way of the personal views, when you think about it, it's so big and it's so much that we just want to pull the covers over our heads and be like, we're done. But we can't, right? So all of you are doing amazing things. And Danny will be moderating, and I think this Ayesha, where's Dominique?
If you'd like to take a seat, that'd be great. We have plenty of space in the front here. We're about to start another panel. I'm excited to announce that we have youth leaders from small island developing states in the Caribbean that are going to discuss how the Climate Action Summit they attended helped them coordinate and align efforts to be more effective advocates within the region. So I think I'll have each of you introduce yourself really quickly and just say where you're from. Mic should be on. Yes.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jhannel Tomlinson. I'm a PhD candidate doing climate change research, and I'm also from Jamaica. I am one of the many youth activists here today representing small island and developing states, and I'm particularly happy to have been given this opportunity to represent not only my country, but my region.
Hi, everybody. If you're having a conversation in the back, if we could just keep it at a whisper level, that'd be awesome. Thank you. Jhannel, why don't you say your name one more time?
Okay, so Jhannel Tomlinson from Jamaica, representing youth climate change activists, both in Jamaica and across the Caribbean region.
I am Michael Morgan, also representing the youth climate change activists across the Caribbean.
Hi, my name is Nuravni Sallons, and I'm from Suriname, and I'm the country representative for the youth climate change activists.
Hi, good afternoon. Dominique Noralez from Belize. I'm also representing the climate change activists.
Good day, everyone. I am Jevanic from the Caribbean island of St. Lucia, representing the youth climate change activists and also a global youth climate network ambassador.
Fantastic, everybody. So I'm really happy to be up here with you personally because my heritage is from Jamaica, and you know, the islands are everything to me. And I know in recent times, the Caribbean has especially been in the media and highlighted as the front line of the climate crisis, right? And you're dealing with all the impacts, and you're seeing all the changes happening before your eyes. So as youth leaders, how have you been able to specifically target, you know, the problems that your community is facing, and what's been the biggest challenge? Whether it's, you know, funding or, you know, relationships, whatever that might be. Kind of give us a picture quickly of what it looks like for you in your community.
Okay, so I reside, I'm originally from a rural community, and being in that particular community where vulnerable populations rely on the environment for their sustenance, I mean, fishers, farmers, we do realize that climate change is an issue that they have to contend with irrespective of whether or not we as persons at the outside realize it. So for me, issues such as drought, increasing rainfall, increasing landslides have been something that has continued to affect them. And there have been a lot of interventions, particularly on the side of the government, that has been trying to increase their adaptive capacities, reduce their vulnerability. And I'm particularly happy because our Prime Minister has partnered with President Macron in increasing climate financing. So that's one of the things that we realize. As small island states, we're most impacted, but we have minimal resources that are able to combat some of these challenges. So it's particularly important that ambition is raised, that countries commit to donating, that we can all live in a world that we consider sustainable.
Fantastic, yes. Anyone else want to add to that?
Yeah.
What's been your experience? Yeah.
Certainly, like you mentioned, North-South cooperation is critical for us in building our resilience and adapting to the effects of climate change right now. Because at the end of the day, we have limited resources, we have a limited capacity, and that is why through programs like the Japan-Caribbean Climate Change Partnership has enabled many countries throughout the region in building their capacity to be resilient. It is unfortunate that now we only know the Caribbean during 6 months of the year, that is during the hurricane season, and unfortunately for the wrong reasons. We look at Dominica, we look at Bahamas, and I think that has, as a young person, has more or less inspired us, and that is why we are here today. That it is unfortunate that the Caribbean is not represented as much as it should be, but that is where we come into play, and it is our responsibility to inspire other young people, because at the end of the day, we only have one planet, and unfortunately the Caribbean region is on the front line. Probably, I would dare to say, maybe the most impacted at this point in time, and that is why it is critical that we, for our individual, but also our collective efforts as a region in dealing with this issue.
That's excellent. So let's talk a little bit more about the actions that you're taking right now, specifically in your island state. So any examples of projects that you're currently working on? What are you looking forward to that you've seen that are very effective?
Well, first of all, one of these programs in Belize that focuses a lot on the economic but also the social development of people is the Small Rights Program, the Government Environment Facility Small Rights Program, which is a program that downscales larger ideas within communities. So you have projects that send rural women, indigenous women to India to learn how to build solar panels for the community that aren't electrified and aren't on the national system. You have programs that help farmers who have been cooperatives for as long as Belize has been independent, who have never had access to funding to make their farms as sustainable as they should have been. You have the Ashfred Conservation Trust, which is a conservation development organization that helps farmers in rural communities, especially in southern Belize. So these are some of the projects that happen, and the Small Rights Program is one of those opportunities that exist in Belize.
I was recently in Belize about 3 weeks ago for the first time. I absolutely loved it. Went snorkeling in Shark Ray Alley and saw all the nurse sharks. It was unbelievable. But what a treasure, you know. I feel like there are so many places within the Caribbean that, you know, just I feel like not necessarily don't get highlighted enough, but like there's so many places that people need to explore and protect and make sure that it's going to be there for future generations. So thank you for your work there. It's amazing. Great. Who else would like to add?
I think in Jamaica, being on the front lines has really given me a lot of inspiration to see the first-hand effects of climate change. I think for many people, especially farmers, it's a reality in terms of their entire life being wiped out after a hurricane. So I would really say that the Japan-Caribbean Climate Change Partnership, which has really done a lot of work in trying to improve farmers' capacity to adapt to changing climate, such as giving them tools and providing them workshops to develop tools to deal with droughts, and also helping with mangrove restoration projects around the island. You see that these practical solutions have really changed the lives of people on the island who would have, without these, not being able to have the resources to defend themselves as climate change happens.
Another thing that we see the importance of is education of youth. So I work a lot with a lot of youth champions, and one of them is in the room here with me as well. And what we try to do is to ensure that young people are being educated, because for a lot of us, we see youth as, yes, they're going to be impacted, but sometimes we need to be seen and not heard. And we're trying to shift away from that narrative to ensure that young people are given not just an invisible seat at the table, but a seat where we can actually have a voice and have a say. So one of the things that we've been trying to do is to target rural youth particularly, because a lot of them are the ones who bring back the information into their households, share with their parents, with their families, to say, okay, this is what I learned in school, this is what I heard on the radio. So a lot of them are the ones who are actually disseminating the information in their households and helping their families to realize that climate change is a real issue. And another thing that we realize as well is that the only way people react to climate change is where you bring it back to their realities. So if you just come and say, okay, just global warming and the place is getting warmer, persons can see that, but for many they see it as more of a long-term impact. But when you can come and say it's going to impact fish catch, when it's going to impact your yields, when it's going to impact your crops, you do realize now that's bringing it closer to home. I know they realize that there's going to be less money in your pocket, less money for the children to go to school. So bringing it to the reality and ensuring that people see how it impacts their everyday life is pretty much the approach that we've been taking, and young people have been helping with that.
And how have you been able to disseminate the information to the youth, like as far as working with rural youth in Jamaica?
So one of the things that has happened is I had attended COP as the youth delegate, thankfully. So coming back from that, we had 2 workshops that we had organized, again in rural Jamaica. And what we did, we brought together young people from high schools and tertiary institutions again, to not only teach them, but to also hear from them, to hear what their views were, to hear what they thought climate change was, how they saw it impacting their communities and their individual lives, and again, just their perspective through a youth lens, and again, their solutions to it. And we really realized that it's not something that's far removed from their realities, it's something that they realize happening, and it's something that they particularly want to know to address.
Beautiful. So Nuravni, tell me, Nuravni, I got it, yay. So we'd love to hear from you to maybe round out this last part of our session. If you want to give us an example of what you've been doing in Suriname.
Yeah, I've been working on awareness events, and Suriname has a low-lying coast, and 80% of our population is concentrated there. Also our infrastructure and economic activities. So yeah, I'm working on awareness, especially for with the youth, because when I organized an event a few weeks ago, the youth, someone told me, she was 14 years old, and she said that climate change is long term. She might not experience it, and she also said that she doesn't like to focus on it because it's a problem for scientists and researchers and leaders, and not for just the normal population, to say it like that. So to change that mindset, we need to work on a lot of awareness. But first of all, you need to start at what is climate change, what is the cause, what's the effect, and how will it impact all of us. So yeah, I think we're working on a lot of awareness activities, and we keep on doing it till we get to the point to go to the next level.
Fantastic. Yeah, you have to meet people where they are and give them the information that they need so that they can comprehend the gravity and the expansiveness of this, some people say it's an existential problem. I don't think it is. I think it's all, it's all relative. But thank you all so much for your work. Continue to shine and sharing the good, let us know how it's going. And for all of you watching online, definitely do some research and find out more about their work online, and hopefully we can share that via Twitter once we finish this up. So thank you all again. Please, a round of applause for our Sit on the Frontline panel.